When Queen Elizabeth II passed away, the United Kingdom entered a profound period of mourning, and with that grief came a solemn transition that touched every member of the royal family. For Catherine, already admired as the Duchess of Cambridge, the change signaled a new chapter of service as she and William stepped closer to the heart of the monarchy. The country looked for reassurance, for continuity that felt both respectful of the past and hopeful for the future. Catherine responded with a poise that had been years in the making: quiet appearances before crowds leaving flowers, gentle conversations with mourners who shared memories of the late Queen, and a steady, compassionate presence beside William. She did not attempt to fill the silence with grandeur or speeches. Instead, she offered something the moment required: dignity, attentiveness, and a reassuring calm. In those days of black coats, church bells, and subdued streets, the public saw in her a woman prepared for weightier responsibilities. The loss of the sovereign was a national sorrow, but it also marked the threshold to a new era, one in which Catherine's role would expand and intensify. The values formed in her ordinary childhood, refined through a decade as a working royal, now anchored her response: serve steadily, comfort sincerely, and help carry the crown forward with grace. When King Charles III conferred upon William the title of Prince of Wales, Catherine became the Princess of Wales, a title resonant with history and emotion. For many across Britain and the Commonwealth, the title evoked memories of Princess Diana, whose legacy remains deeply felt. Catherine accepted the honor not as a costume to be worn but as a responsibility to be lived, mindful of the tenderness surrounding it. She made no theatrical gestures, rather, she let her work, presence, and manner speak for her. Public engagements following the accession revealed a deliberate balance. She acknowledged the history attached to the title while clearly being herself: measured, modern, and empathetic. Her fashion choices were respectful and understated, her conversations with the public sincere, and her partnerships with charities unmistakably focused. By inhabiting the title with humility, she signaled both continuity and evolution, a Princess of Wales who honored the past while shaping a distinct path rooted in early years advocacy, mental health awareness, and community connection. The name was historic, the approach was unmistakably Catherine's. As William embraced his role as Prince of Wales, Catherine's partnership with him became even more visible, the two operating as a steady unit at the forefront of national life. She complemented his public tone, measured, purposeful, future-oriented, with a warmth that drew people into conversation. Walkabouts showed their rhythm, William engaging policy questions and constitutional symbolism, Catherine focusing intently on individuals, especially children and caregivers, eliciting stories that rarely make headlines but reveal how policies meet real lives. Together they cultivated a sense that leadership can be both serious and human. This synergy did not emerge overnight. It was forged through years of shared experiences: university days, the RAF years, early tours abroad, parenting 3 children under cameras and scrutiny. Now, as Prince and Princess of Wales, they leaned on those lessons. Catherine often acted as the emotional bridge, transforming formal occasions into personal encounters. By standing alongside William with composure and empathy, she helped translate royal duty into something many could feel: a commitment to listen, to show up, and to serve. In the months after the accession, Catherine's schedule reflected a dual devotion: honoring the lifetime of service exemplified by Elizabeth II while supporting King Charles III as he established his reign. She attended remembrance services with a composure that steadied those watching, her gestures small yet eloquent: a hand laid on a wreath, a soft exchange with veterans, a quiet moment of reflection outside a cathedral. When representing the king, she embraced the role of cultural diplomat, meeting community leaders, health workers, educators, and volunteers whose stories mirrored the national fabric the late Queen had cherished. The tone she struck was consistent: continuity without rigidity, tradition warmed by humanity. In speech, she kept language accessible, avoiding lofty declarations in favor of phrases that felt lived in and genuine. It was not a reinvention of monarchy but a recalibration of emphasis, reframing royal presence as catalyst for connection. By honoring the past and supporting the present sovereign, Catherine helped knit grief to gratitude, and gratitude to resolve. Long before becoming Princess of Wales, Catherine had made early childhood development a central pillar of her work. After the accession, she doubled down. She spoke of the critical first 5 years, not as a slogan but as a societal priority that touches mental health, education, family stability, and long-term well-being. Her approach remained characteristically practical, convening experts from neuroscience, pediatrics, social policy, and frontline services, visiting nurseries and community centers, highlighting parent support programs, and pushing for a broader public conversation about the foundations of lifelong resilience. Rather than chasing quick wins, she emphasized culture change, helping the public see early years as everyone's business, not a niche concern for parents alone. The project's hallmark became translation, turning research into clear, everyday language and turning goodwill into action people could take. Reading with a child, creating calmer routines, supporting caregivers, noticing stress signals early. By staying with the issue year after year, Catherine demonstrated that royal advocacy can be sustained, evidence-informed, and oriented toward long horizons. As Princess of Wales, Catherine refined a style of engagement that felt modern without being performative. She favored smaller round tables where practitioners could speak freely, paired with larger visits that drew attention to local success stories. On social platforms, her team used concise, respectful messaging, less spectacle, more substance, often linking to resources for families and teachers. Wardrobe and staging supported the message. Polished but practical, often showcasing British designers and craft, with frequent re-wears that signaled prudence and sustainability. In schools, she would kneel to a child's eye level. In hospitals, she would spend unhurried minutes with exhausted parents. In museums, she would ask curators how exhibits invite children to wonder. The cumulative effect was a portrait of service defined by listening and learning rather than pronouncement. This approach resonated across generations. Elders recognized the courtesy and steadiness of traditional royalty, while younger audiences saw authenticity and care. Modernization, in Catherine's hands, meant making the work feel useful. With the new titles came greater visibility for her family, and Catherine navigated that reality with the same protective instinct she had always shown. She and William continued to prioritize privacy around day-to-day routines, school runs, homework, muddy boots after matches, while acknowledging that certain milestones belonged to the public record. When photographs of the children were released, they were often taken by Catherine herself, preserving natural expressions in familiar settings that felt intimate yet respectful. The principle was simple: let the country share in the joy of its future while safeguarding the children's right to grow without constant intrusion. At engagements, Catherine sometimes referenced the practicalities of parenting, packed lunches, early bedtimes, the chaos of getting out the door on wet mornings. Human details that made people smile and remember their own family seasons. The balance she modeled did not claim perfection. It offered an honest, hopeful picture of family life lived under unusual conditions, anchored by love and routine. The title Princess of Wales carries admiration but also expectation, and Catherine faced the inevitable cycles of scrutiny with the same measured resilience that had defined her earlier years. Headlines rose and fell. Commentary alternated between effusive and exacting. Through it all, she stayed consistent: show up prepared, treat people kindly, keep the focus on the work. Those close to her spoke of a daily discipline: reading briefs carefully, asking practical questions before visits, checking follow-ups so meetings did not dissolve into sentiment. She guarded time for exercise and faith, for conversations with her parents and siblings, for quiet dinners with William. Private steadiness made public steadiness possible. By refusing to chase applause or respond to provocation, she let the arc of her service speak for itself. In a culture that often confuses noise with impact, Catherine's calm became countercultural and effective. As Princess of Wales, Catherine's role in soft diplomacy expanded, from state banquets at home to visits overseas where symbolism travels faster than words. She used clothing to honor host nations' colors and motifs, learned phrases to greet communities in their own language, and highlighted joint projects in health, education, and the arts that outlast a news cycle. At home, she amplified regional pride, from coastal towns rebuilding economies to inner-city hubs where charities create second chances, placing local leaders at the center of the story. The goal was not to dominate a room but to elevate others within it, a style of influence that fits a constitutional monarchy: convene, connect, and encourage. In these settings, Catherine's strengths, listening, clarity, respect, functioned as quiet instruments of partnership. The applause was for the work, not the royal. That framing, repeated visit after visit, helped ensure that ceremonies opened doors to collaboration rather than closing them with a photograph. Becoming the Princess of Wales did not transform Catherine into someone new, it concentrated who she already was. The path ahead remains demanding: supporting the king, partnering with the Prince of Wales, raising 3 children, and sustaining long-horizon initiatives that will be judged not by headlines but by healthier families years from now. Yet the compass guiding her seems unchanged: dignity in public, kindness in private, and a belief that small, steady actions create durable good. In the story of modern monarchy, her chapter is not about reinvention but about depth: listening longer, serving more consistently, translating research into everyday help, lifting up voices that are seldom heard. If the title Princess of Wales carries echoes of history, Catherine answers those echoes with work that feels present and practical. The crown she helps carry is not only metal and jewels, it is the daily weight of expectation, borne with grace so that others feel lighter. That, perhaps, is the quiet power of her role: to make duty look like care, and tradition feel like hope.